Rain this morning causing some flooding problems in the midsection of the country. Thanks for joining me here on TravelWise. We'll look at that. First, a look at our airport arrival delays. Some delays right now in Kansas City, heavy rain right there, and I would guess that pretty soon we'll have some delays in St. Louis for some thunderstorms moving through there as well. Across the rest of the country, things are pretty quiet, but again, in the midsection of the country, this is where we have our strong weather. And here's the setup. We have an old boundary here shown as a trough on the southern edge of our rain. Our next system pushing southward, this is where most of our rain is focused, especially the heaviest rain in southeast South Dakota, Iowa, into Missouri, and as well into the heavy rain in parts of southern Illinois. Now our next system will be pushing down, and that will again give the same region the chance for some rain, including some heavy rain. Things won't dry out until next week. That's coming up later, but first let's take a look at our travel weather for today. Again, heavy rain. We do have some flood warnings in effect for parts of southeastern South Dakota, Iowa, and into east central Missouri. Flood warnings means that flooding is imminent, so take caution if you are in these areas. We did have a watch box that's just been dropped right here in moving into Oklahoma. Those storms have lost their severe limits, but they are some pretty strong storms, some gusty winds, so do take note of that if you're in that region there. Now our heaviest rain right now, some heavy storms moving into Sioux City, Omaha. Looks like things are beginning to quiet down a bit, but you're still in the rain. The heaviest rain looks like it's moved to your south, but into northern Missouri here, some very, very heavy rain. Into Kansas City, some strong storms moving into your region here, as well as in southeastern Kansas, some very strong storms and heavy rain moving into Chanute. Flooding will be a problem on the roadways this morning. Take it slow if you're out there, because it is a dangerous situation. Now into St. Louis, you're waking up to some rumbles of thunder this morning with some strong storms moving through. If you're heading out on vacation, be careful on the roadways. We've had a lot of rain already on the roadways with radar estimates of over 10 inches of rain. That's why we do have some flood watches in effect. And more rain is in store for this region today as we move on in the day. Now throughout the rest of the country, things are looking pretty dry except for some showers in the southwest and as well some showers developing in Florida. Well, stay with us. Coming up next, we'll have a look at your weekend.
Is your cartridge out of ink? Don't worry.
And you will need that air conditioning this weekend in the south. It will be another warm weekend for you and dry, but across the midsection of the country, some very, very heavy rain this morning, and those showers will continue later on in the day today. We are looking for possibly some strong storms to develop here from Valentine to Omaha. The threat with these storms will mainly be hail and strong winds, and as we go further south again, chance for some thunderstorms in parts of Oklahoma. There could be the chance for some severe weather there as well, but the better chance is farther to the north. Now, as we head on into the day Sunday, or excuse me, let's look at our temperatures first for Saturday. Again, as I said, warm in the south, and it will be pretty dry. So if you're outside today, take caution, make sure you drink a lot of fluids, and wear the sunscreen. Now, on Sunday, here we go, the wet weather moving just slowly to the south. Again, looks like parts of Iowa, you will see the wet weather again tomorrow.
I have to cover my face a little bit here because it hurts so much. But need to cover my
Iowa and in the midsection of the country. First, we're going to take a look at the lightning strikes here. Some strong storms rolling down through Kansas into Oklahoma. Same for you in St. Louis. You're waking up to some thunder this morning as well. And the heavy rain really is the big problem, though. We're seeing heavy rain in parts of South Dakota, Iowa, into Kansas, and also some strong storms now moving through southern Illinois. We do have a couple of watches that were in effect overnight. Those have now since expired. One severe thunderstorm watch left that expires at 5 o'clock Central Time. Looks like that most of the strong in the watch area, and we aren't looking at any severe thunderstorm warnings in that area right now. But we are looking at plenty of flood warnings. Caution if you're in these areas. Very slow-moving rain moving over across many of the same areas, so we are seeing flooding problems here in parts of the midsection of the country. Into Kansas City, some strong storms moving into your area as well. Right now you're hearing the thunder and some heavy rain moving in as well. So travel will be a problem this morning in parts of the midsection of the country. Travel on I-70 heading from St. Louis on vacation, well, you're going to have to take it slow this morning. There are some heavy rains. The National Weather Service has issued flash flood watches. That means that flooding is possible throughout the day today, and we will continue to see more rain in this area, so that will continue to cause a problem. In national look, you can see that really this middle section of the country is where most of the rain is. Looking pretty dry across most of the rest of the country. A little bit of moisture in the southwest, but today we're looking for the chance for some strong storms to redevelop here across the midsection of the country later in the day. For the morning hours, we're looking for these scattered storms to continue the heavy rain in the central part of the country. Well, your temperatures, it will be a warm one in the east and the southeast. Things will be dry if you have outdoor plans, but it will be warm. Remember to take the sunscreen and remember to drink lots of fluids. It's real easy to forget that, but when it's this hot out, you have to remember to keep yourself hydrated. Now, by tomorrow, our front tends to move slowly to the east, but we're still going to see rain in Iowa, into Missouri, Illinois. Heavy rain in places that really need a few days to dry out, whereas in the southeast, where you need the rain, just the chance for some isolated thunderstorm. Otherwise, things are looking pretty dry up and down the eastern seaboard for tomorrow. Well, your temperatures for your Sunday, a bit cooler across the northern plains, but looking much like summer across the rest of the eastern half of the country. Your UV index for today, well, it's going to be hot in the southwest and as well up and down the east coast. Bring along that sunscreen, you will need it. And not only will the sun be hot, but it will be humid, so take caution again, drink lots of fluids if you're outside across the south today. Well, if you're boating across the northeast, winds are pretty quiet and your water temperatures are a bit cool in New England, but as you head down the coast, down to the Delmarva Peninsula, temperatures there, ocean water temperatures warming into the 70s. Ocean water temperatures very warm in the southeast. 87 is the ocean water temperature off of Tampa Bay. You have to start watching for jellyfish when you get into warm ocean water temperatures like that. Otherwise, winds are very calm. Looks like a nice day for boating across this region. Now in the west, there are some windier conditions here in southern Oregon into northern California. We do have a gale warning in effect this morning from Point St. George up to Cape Blanco in Oregon, so take caution there. Small craft advisory in effect as well. Wouldn't head out on the waterways today. Well, as we take a look at Weather Center is coming up next, we'll have more on the severe weather and the heavy rain today in the plains. Stay with us here on the Weather Channel.
Keeping you ahead of the storm is what matters to us.
That's why the Weather Channel is here.
Our knowledge, this morning's question, what causes the bottoms of tomatoes to flatten and turn black? We'll have the answer to that at the top of the hour.
Interesting. All right, let's see. We have a TravelWise on deck, and again, where 70 and I-55 come together, just an inundation there in St. Louis.
That's right. Watch out, especially on those secondary roads. Stay tuned for TravelWise.
We'll be back.
This program was brought to you by Subaru. Visit us at Subaru.com to see our full line of all-wheel drive vehicles.
Forecast, accurate and dependable from the Weather Channel.
A winter storm is complicating travel across the Midwest, and that will translate into rain and snow for the Northeast tomorrow. Good evening and welcome to Weather Center. I'm Kim Perez.
And I'm Paul GOODLOE. Thanks for joining us. Your Thursday forecast will include more near record warmth for the Southeast. Details are just ahead, but right now, let's talk about the Midwest. It's concentrated in the Midwest because that's where we do have the largest concentration of snow. We're talking the snow continues to come down. Look at this broad area of snow, and yes, it is falling now in the Twin Cities. It's been falling in the Twin Cities all day long. Take a look at a close-up radar. That is all snow. Already at least 4 inches of snow on the ground, and it is still snowing and coming down at a good rate right now as well. Now, again, one of the places that's under a winter storm warning tonight is the Minneapolis-St. Paul area, and not far from there at the Mall of America in Bloomington, Minnesota, is our own KRISTIN Dodd. KRISTIN, can you tell us what the visibility is right now?
It's pretty low. We've had some blowing snow out on the roadways, and that has cut down the visibility. I'd say, quarter, half mile at best. The roads are pretty slick, but normally this is rush hour and the cars would be at a standstill. So it does appear that a lot of people headed home from work early. The schools were let out early, so actually the rush hour is not that bad. That is good news. Now here's what is on the ground at this point. And of course, yesterday I was in Boston and they had a very heavy wet snow. This is not that consistency. It's much colder here, and so it's very fluffy. This is the kind of snow that is a little bit easier to shovel and to brush off the cars. So that is also a bonus here in Minneapolis. Now let's show you what occurred occurred across the area earlier today out on the roads. As we looked at 494 looping the city, we had some accidents. Folks trying to get out on bicycles, so any way you can do it, I guess. The plows out, and not only on the roads, but also on the sidewalks, and sand trucks also out trying to keep the roads, at least giving it some type of traction. It is slick out there, of course, you know, the usual. The bridges and overpasses are extremely icy, so folks around here do need to be careful. Once this all passes by, our winds are going to pick up, and we're going to get much colder with single-digit temperatures and even dropping below 0. Paul, back to you.
Okay, thanks, Kristen. We'll check back with you in about a half hour. Now, also keeping a close eye on the storm system is our winter weather expert, Paul KOCIN, who is standing by at the expert desk. Now, Paul, we've already had at least 4 inches of snow in the Minneapolis-St. Paul area. We're seeing more snow there. How much more snow can they receive before it finally tapers off? And what other areas in that region could be expecting snow throughout the night and tomorrow?
Well, it looks like in Minneapolis, from this initial batch of snow, we can expect at least another 2 to 4 inches overnight. Then that snow is probably going to be tapering off to on and off light snow, but then another system's coming in, and that's where we could see some more snow coming back into there. So a total of about 8 to 12 inches is certainly a good likelihood in the Minneapolis area. Upper level disturbance, very strong storm systems going to be coming out of the Rockies and then moving up, tapping into the very warm air coming from the Gulf of Mexico, with a large swath of snow cutting across the Midwest. As we go in time with the forecast, we'll see the low drop down and a cold front really plunging down with much colder air coming into the central United States. That's going to set conditions up for a fairly widespread snow event coming from Colorado up into portions of the Midwest. And as we see, low pressure will be developing by tomorrow evening, and we'll see that cold front really extend towards the northward with an area of freezing rain to the north for places like Des Moines and Milwaukee, and a fairly widespread area of snowfall extending from Colorado upwards towards the plains and then again back through Minneapolis. And then eventually that storm system is going to be wrapping up towards the north, and that's where we'll see the snowfall come back into the Minneapolis area. So it looks like a widespread area of snow from southern Rockies through portions of the Plains states and into the Midwest. And we'll see that cold weather begin to move east after the storm moves across the region on Friday. Let's turn it back to Paul GOODLOE.
Thanks. It's Paul KOCIN, our winter weather expert. We'll check back with him throughout the evening. Let's take a look at the broad area here in the Midwest. We're still seeing plenty of snow come down. Again, it's coming down at a pretty heavy rate in some areas. You can already see some of that snow trying to move in towards Chicago. But you know what, we're seeing a lot of this evaporated. It's still relatively dry in some of the low levels, but we are seeing a decent swath of snow here in parts of central Wisconsin. And all in all, as we head towards the nighttime hours, we are definitely going to be closing in on 4, 5, maybe 6 inches of snow throughout this region. Then we have more snow coming tomorrow. Take a look at your temperatures. What a contrast in temperatures. Single digits and 20s. Compare that to the 50s you're experiencing here in St. Louis. And in fact, the forecast for you in St. Louis, again, because your temperatures are so mild, rain for you. Actually, Chicago, maybe starting to have some snow tonight, maybe a quick change to sleet, then all rain by tomorrow as you have some of that warm air move in that region. But look at the snow continue here on the backside, and eventually the rain continues here in Chicago. You're on that warm sector of the storm, but the snow continues to dump here in the Twin Cities, and you can still see plenty of snow despite your temperatures getting close to freezing. But look at Chicago in the 50s, 60s in St. Louis. Could even see some thunderstorms in Kansas City. In contrast, the Northeast, high pressure has moved in, but we're still seeing some lake-enhanced snow showers, lake-effect snow showers here in parts of upstate New York. But really, that's about it. Just some scattered snow showers, not expecting anything in way of accumulation. In terms of your temperatures, cold enough for that snow in Buffalo, 28 right now, but still we are melting, kind of a slushy mess out there. 41 right now in New York City, 43 in Philadelphia, and even 32 in Albany. And tomorrow, again, more of the same, more 40s, even some 50s around D.C., and yes, we could even see some rain showers in Pittsburgh, and no snow for you, Buffalo. We could see perhaps starting as some snow, then changing over to rain on your Thursday. That
Rain and snow soaked the New England region this morning. Hello, I'm Mike Bono.
And I'm Bill KENEELY, and that system is exiting very quickly, Mike, so things will improve now. Your old stomping ground. Still getting some snow.
Good morning, half past the hour. Just talking about the wind yesterday as the cold air moved into the southeast.
Yeah, tough day on the roads.
I have this little itty bitty car, and I was just telling Mike I was driving, and just like, you know, like this, you know, you kind of blow a little bit. Well, the wind overturned, what are you looking at me? Overturned trucks in California.
Okay, it wasn't that bad, but it was kind of breezy in the southeastern states. But, you know, it looks like finally it's gone for a couple of days, and a couple of nice days coming in. It should be, do I dare say, delightful.
I wouldn't, because you know we're going to be jinxed at the end of the week.
Oh, we know. When's CANTORE getting back?
Oh, man.
End of the week?
Yeah.
That's why.
I know, he and I both jinx the weather all the time.
Okay, what do you got in store for us this morning?
Let's talk about Cleveland first. I think that was a big story yesterday. Oh, man. Jimmy, let's show it to him. 7 inches of snow in Cleveland, enough to shut down the opening game. There was a picture I was just looking at in the newspaper. One of the Yankees players kind of, I think he was hitting the snow with his bat. I mean, that's just a classic picture showing you. Opening day, I mean, the Indians, the fans, and the players fired up to start the season.
Some out west, and Will has more details on this system.
Okay, then we'll talk about that system coming up right now, because once again we'll talk about some more snow showers for the Sierra Nevada and California for the upcoming day. Nothing like you saw yesterday. This was the scene yesterday in Donner Pass, and once again, not much of the snow stuck to the roadways, but again, it was a pretty scene, and travelers should use caution. Let's go off to Seattle, Washington right now, where light rain kept the skyline gray yesterday. The rain fell throughout much of the day, although it didn't seem to bother residents who are used to such weather. More the same as forecast for today, but the rain should not be nearly as heavy. Okay, let's show you what's going on throughout the west one more time. We'll show you some more light rain showers now throughout much of Idaho. Some snow in the northern part of the state, but for central California, like around Sacramento and Stockton and San Francisco. Let's look at the western current weather. We're going to check on the forecast now. Nasty weather in the east ruins one of the country's annual rites of spring for some cities.
Meanwhile, out west, rain and snow spread from California into Nevada and Utah today.
Details coming up next on WeatherScope for Tuesday, April the 2nd.
For a scope of coverage you won't find anywhere else, this is WeatherScope This Morning.
Good morning. It is the bottom of the hour. Rick, I'll tell you what, Mother Nature certainly putting a damper on opening day, and this weekend, cold again.
I know. There's looking ahead, the computer charts is suggesting another storm coming down and cold winds and that sort of thing.
I give up. You know what stinks is that we're going to go from like 50s to 90s, and there'll be like no spring whatsoever.
Well, it'll be right from winter to summer, something like that. I don't know.
That is right. We'll look at the forecast in a moment.
We will, and we're going to check out opening day. We talked about that briefly, and yeah, in Philadelphia, heavy rain, washed out.
You can say it stinks because the cold air isn't here, but then we're not dealing with any big storms.
That's true, although we'll have to watch that northeast system. It doesn't look like the big cities are going to be affected, but some of the inland areas might get a substantial amount of snow.
That's right, because there's going to be a lot of cold air in place, so we'll have to see.
Okay, well, we'll be back. We've got to look at the weather in Europe. There's a big storm over there, too. We'll talk about that in just a moment.
Millions of years ago, a great sea, as dripping water continued to deposit minerals, the beautiful formations we see in fantastic caverns today were created. Take a trip back in time with a ride through fantastic caverns, just minutes north of Springfield, Missouri.
And now, get the information you need to plan for your travel and know what conditions to expect when you reach your destination. The Business Travel Forecast on the Weather Channel.
You can set.
Rain and snow soaked the New England region this morning. Hello, I'm Mike Bono.
And I'm Bill KENEELY, and that system is exiting very quickly, Mike, so things will improve now. Your old stomping ground, still getting some snow. Bangor, Holton, Caribou, but that should be pulling out.
Poor man's fertilizer, they call that.
Is that what they call that?
Everything greens up after the snow melts.
I thought it made potatoes mushy or something.
Some people in Maine call it the Robin Storm.
The Robin Storm.
There are different names for it, if it's the last one.
Okay, I feel educated. I thought I had Bert and I. That's all I needed to know about Maine. All right, let's talk about what's happening in New England and also around the rest of the eastern.
I'm Steve-O, and snowshoes are so slamming, you can balance on anything, blindfolded. Well, it's a darn good shoe.
As the front comes through this evening, we'll probably see some showers again.
The wind chill is going to be a factor.
It's going to be very chilly out there. You definitely want to make sure you're going to have the rain gear out as well.
It'll be a good day to bundle up the kids.
This could be the first real taste of winter.
Right now, it's your local forecast on the Weather Channel. Looks like there's a very large high-pressure system coming down into the northeast.
It's going to be some big changes for us folks.
And not to mention that's going to accelerate the fall color shift.
Oh, it's going to be beautiful.